Well, thank you all for being here. I saw earlier today that there were some 60, 70, I think 70 plus RSVPs. Sorry, I'm admitting people simultaneously. Well, to those who do not know, welcome. We are the Black TV and Film Collective. We are a bi-coastal organization, although we have members internationally, and we are dedicated to ensuring that filmmakers of color, Black filmmakers specifically, are able to have the tools, educational resources, and empowerment to make their work, so that your work is not just something that you are dreaming about, manifesting, journaling about. It's something that we can ensure truly does happen, and it's dreams that you're able to truly realize. Sorry, I'm kind of like trying to get my lighting. Okay, cool. It's better for me. Yes, so thank you all for being here today. Can you all just put down in the chat where you are coming in from or tuning in from, since we are virtual? And we will, Brooklyn, DMV, NYC, awesome. All righty, we will, wow, LA, New York, Dallas, Texas, okay. We have with us today Elizabeth McIntyre of ScreenCraft Works. They have a focus on ensuring that artists are able to have mentorships that are beyond just the people who might be in your backyard, from where you're from, right? This is really exciting to see where you are all from. Imagine if you could have a mentor that was located, a mentor in post-production sound or in VFX that was located in London or located in South Africa. That's what this informational session is about. It's about ScreenCraft's Works bringing to light the need for us to bridge the gaps internationally when it comes to mentorship and when it comes to creating opportunities for ourselves, and also having more cultural understanding, whether it's the implications of our work or also just understanding how we can work and the work that exists outside of our own backyards. And this is all remote as well. So one thing that I really love when Elizabeth and I first spoke is that she mentioned that, for parents that might, have children, or people that maybe live in places where they cannot readily or easily access, the New Yorks and LAs of the world, right? Chicago, London, these big hubs, they can still continue to move their career forward so that we are not squeezing people out, leaving people out. And that's what I really love about the work that they are all doing. Elizabeth, I'm going to ask you to come on now. You were just here. I don't see you. Maybe my spotlight's on me. Hi.
Thank you ever so much for the invitation. On behalf of our little gang that's come on, my co-director, Rebecca Del Tufo, and one of our mentees, Sean Sony, has also joined us from the car. But don't worry, we drive on the other side of the road in the UK, so we're not driving at the same time. As you know, another fellow mentee, Prince May, was also going to be joined. He may be able to hop on, but his cruel and evil production team is keeping him under wraps because he's finishing up a film, but he will try to join. But we're really thrilled that Sean Sony, our mentee, could be here today. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to the Black TV and Film Collective for inviting us. Shall I give a little bit of an overview of ScreenCraft Works?
Yes, I'm going to hand you the floor, and then when we're ready for Q&A, I will pop over those questions in the chat. So
perfect.
All you.
So yes, I'm from the UK. My name is Elizabeth McIntyre. My pronouns are she, her. And broadly, my career is production, followed by commissioning, followed by exhibition. But throughout all that time, one of the key things that both Rebecca and I feel is that there are often, with particularly a freelance world, a lot of disconnects and people not managing to come together. I think this is particularly the case in the world today. So we looked at what was beneficial from the dreadful pandemic, and the one thing that was beneficial was the opportunity for people to join remotely. So we looked at what could we do to bring people together across national borders, internationally, and across local barriers where they may not readily be able to connect. in what is a global industry. So we decided that one of the heartland things we wanted to do was to bring people together through mentoring schemes, whereby a mentee from one country at any stage of their career can connect with a mentor from another country at any stage of their career for a match to exchange knowledge, exchange experiences, exchange cultural perspectives, and widen their employment and peer-to-peer networks, both to enrich their local domestic production and outlook, and also widen their networks for potential hybrid or remote or indeed on-site work internationally as well. So that formed the core of ScreenCraft Works, and we got early support from Brunel University London, and indeed Shaunak is a student at Brunel University London, and also with Screen Skills British Film Institute for support for our mentoring programme. Alongside that, we thought, as well as matching people, and Rebecca's going to talk a little bit more about what our matching means, we also, alongside that, wanted to give the opportunity to shine a light on underrepresentation, self-identified marginalisation, for people to amplify their voices, people's voices, and to give a chance for a voice at the table. So what we decided to do alongside the mentoring, as part of it, is for every mentee or a mentor to give a talk, a virtual talk to an audience, and share their knowledge to an industry audience, with training behind the scenes as well. So as part of the mentoring, we also do the virtual talks. And then finally, the other thing that we do is virtual coffees, which is again bringing people together across borders to share insights, make connections, and have peer-to-peer connections where larger networking events may be overwhelming for some people, because we do also offer those. So that's really the structure of ScreenCraft Works. We're very new, we launched in April, but we are already beginning to have a lot of interest, and we're thrilled to be able to have the opportunity to see whether people would like to apply to be mentors or mentees to increase their knowledge and networks, and or join our community, which is free of charge to join, to enjoy our talks, join in the talk, give talks, network, or have virtual coffees with us. So that's a little bit about us. If I have a couple of minutes, I'd love to throw to Shaunak just to give a little tiny bit of experience of his mentoring, if I may. So I'll assume I can do that if that's okay. So Shaunak, if it's okay, would you be happy to let us know what you are gaining from the initial stages of your mentoring scheme? But before you do that, just give us a tiny little overview of you and your interests and how you're starting your program.
Right, so my name's Shaunak. I'm a film student at Brunel University. I'm going to my third year now, and my mentor is Hellenberg, who's been designed for podcasts in South Africa, among other things, many other things. And I think one of the main things I'm learning is how to communicate with professionally, and how to network, and just, you know, building connections and building a network. I'm speaking to people, you know, that's one of the main things, because I always thought of it as something that I won't be very good at, you know, like going up to a person and I know, asking the details, telling them about myself. But just slowly, when I speak with my mentor, I think I'm developing those skills. So, you know, public speaking is one of them, and there's that. Then there's also just it's always good to have someone who you can ask questions about the industry. You can't find this stuff on Google, you know. Or your professors can only help you so much, but when you have someone in the industry who can guide you, it's very, very helpful, in my opinion. And yeah, that's.
Sure, thank you. There was just one extra question I wanted to ask before throwing to Rebecca is, what do you, I mean, you're originally from India and you came to the UK a couple of years ago for your, to do your studies. You've let me know that one country you wish to work in is the UK, but how do you feel about the idea of the scheme being an international scheme in terms of having international networks for potential international work, including the US?
I think it's great because I get to, when I get to expand my reach, you know, it's always good to have the option of getting out and trying something new, and that for one is great. And coming from India, it's amazing to see how diverse everything is out here, and you know how this so back in India, it's everything, in my opinion, is very closed up in the film industry, and it's always good to see that there's always a way up here, and you can always work, and if you work hard enough, there's always a way up. You know, the doors are always open, and with this mentoring scheme, I get to communicate with people outside of the UK as well. Like right now, I'm speaking to so many people in the United States, and that's great because I get to build my contacts, and it's always good to speak to people who have different experiences.
Thanks ever so much, Shaunak. That's brilliant. And if I may, just throw to my colleague Rebecca to give some details of what our mentoring scheme involves and how to apply, because we're beginning to accept applications for our second programme, which is about to start over the next month or so.
Hi, lovely to meet you all. My name is Rebecca Del Tufo. My pronouns are she, her. So yes, we have our first cohort of mentees and mentors up and running and have had their first get-togethers. And we are open now for our second programme, which will kick off properly, start in September, October time. But you can apply now, and we will share links in a minute in the chat. So anyone can apply. We are looking, but we do focus on craft roles, technical behind the camera roles, which can be carried out and worked on at least in a hybrid way, if not virtually. So, but our mentees so far have comprised sound editing and production management, but that's by no means exclusive. Mentees self-identify as underrepresented, and they can be at any career stage. They might be seeking to enter the industry, return to it, progress their career, or move it in a different direction. And our mentors will have relevant industry experience, generally 1 or 2 career stages ahead of the mentees. Sometimes it might be a different department or a different role where people are trying to move across or share insights. And in fact, we're also hoping and expecting that some of our mentees will also be mentors for people at a different stage, earlier stage in their careers, but that it will be quite a circular process. Within the scheme, each programme runs for 9 months. It's designed obviously to be conducted alongside your work. So at the beginning of the programme, which will be September, October time, there will be introductory mentoring training for the cohort of mentees and for the cohort of mentors, so they know what to expect, and also so that they meet each other, which becomes part of the peer-to-peer networking. And then it runs over 9 months with the idea that there will be 9 one-hour sessions online where the mentees and mentors meet. Obviously, it might be more, but that's the expectation, is 9 one-hour meetings. And we offer a midway, we'll be doing a midway check-in, a wrap-up session, and obviously any problems along the way that Elizabeth and I are in touch with people and mopping that up. And so people are already finding you hear a range of perspectives by getting the international or cross-border approach to this, as well as by different people working with different people at different stages and talking in depth with somebody who's at a different stage with you, whether more advanced or more junior, younger in their career. People are learning from each other, giving and receiving feedback and advice, and exchanging international perspectives, working methods, ideas of working virtually, getting to know each other and strengthening those international working relationships. So that is all very positive. And within that, as Elizabeth said, we're encouraging everyone to do a talk, a conversation. In fact, our next conversation is on Monday, on sound and composition for films. And those are unlikely to be between the mentee and mentor, but in fact to be between different people in the community. So again, that's creating further international links between people and additional opportunities for network and conversation. So I think that's a brief summary to how it works, but I'm hoping I will put some links in the chat. Oh, and finally, that people who are not on the mentoring scheme or thinking about it, we also encourage them to join our community. You then receive our newsletter updates by email and are part of the community, and can ask us questions. We can put people in touch with each other for the virtual coffees. And also, obviously, we're encouraging people to connect with us on social media, share our social media, and we're hoping to share what other people are doing, so that those are, you know, all the usual forums on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. So I think that is the whistle-stop tour, but obviously we welcome and encourage any questions. I'm just going to share some things in the chat. Is there anyone who wants to, you know, either to post something in the chat or Q&A asking any additional questions or something that we haven't covered?
I think I have a question.
Oh, I think after you, please.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kathy Robinson. I'm out of Chicago, Illinois. And I wanted to know if everyone who applies, will they have access to a mentor? Is it, you know, is it limited? Like for example, if you have 25 applicants, you know.
Of course, yes. No, we do then try to make matches. So part of it will depend on how many you know, who applies to be mentors. We want these to be effective partnerships between mentees and mentors. So we're not just going to put people together willy-nilly. So we very much are trying to make matches, and we will contact people that some people have applied who maybe are not within our core of the below the line craft roles that can be done remotely. Some people, it may just not be the right time now. We're trying to offer where we think we can help somebody, but they're not quite ready, or we haven't got a suitable mentoring match. We might say, do apply again, or we can't give you a mentor, but we can try and fix you up with a virtual coffee, which is an hour. So it's like a mini mentoring system chance. And other people who've been in touch, we will do our best to send them some links that we can help out. We had somebody who's a Ukrainian refugee in the UK who wants to be a runner. That's not really our area, but of course we sent some links to how we get runner roles near where she's based in the UK, because we're trying to help people out. So yes, it's not everyone who applies. We are trying to do the matching carefully. Okay, Elizabeth, yes, please.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I may add to your add to what Rebecca said as well, is this is really very much the case. Is, I mean, our community is trying to encourage people to come together, and the last thing we want is to create a system where some people feel that they've been, you know, oh, I've managed to get onto a mentoring scheme, and someone else feeling that they haven't, and that feels sad. So we really try to form a relationship with everyone who applies, or as many people as possible who applies, so that they become part of our wider community, and can join in as many, I mean, join in, what sort of sounds a bit of an odd phrase, but to join in as much as possible with as many activities, so that you can widen your networks across as many global borders as possible. So we're finding that some people who we haven't managed to match on any particular program find that they're increasing their networks and their global work opportunities, including working remotely and virtual production in other countries. That's also the aim. And also we might be able to match you in the future as well. I mean, there have been some very early applications from when we first announced in April who did not manage to be part of our first mentoring program, but we may well be able to match in our second one. So we really do want to do everything we can to make sure people connect in different ways, including but not exclusively the mentoring program.
Okay, thank you.
I just
Can I chip in? Prince is here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Fantastic, thank you. Prince has made it. His production team has given him 15 minutes off. So I would just love to introduce you also to Prince, to just say a few words about being another of our mentees along with Shaunak. Prince, thank you so much for popping out of the cutting room. Really appreciate you joining the evening. Prince, would you be happy enough to tell people about what you do and how you came to the mentoring scheme, so they also have an understanding and impression of how you came to the programme?
Yes, I would like to share my experience. First of all, thank you for having me on, and sorry I'm late. But what I do is, right now I'm a second assistant editor, working on a show at the moment for HBO and Channel 4. And how I came onto this wonderful, wonderful project right now is thanks to Elizabeth pushing me to do this mentoring ship, actually, which, thank you for that, by the way. It's actually been really nice. I've met my mentor, Chris Dickens. We Zoomed and he seems really nice. And we are gonna meet, and then hopefully this will progress and have like a good relationship, and everything will just fall in place, hopefully.
Fantastic. And I was just going to ask one other question, or unless anyone else would like to ask you questions, is you have spoken to me about, and I wonder if you could share with the group, about the value of, as well as your mentor, making other cross-border connections, and the fact it's an international community. How is that helping you personally in terms of widening your networks and also changing your ways of seeing, by being cross-cultural as well as cross-border?
I think it's amazing that this is actually international and cross-border, actually. I think it brings the community closer, and we all have an opportunity to help each other grow and progress. And how it's helped me is I've always wanted to just show my work around the world. Locally is nice as well, but just having the opportunity and the chance to do it, I think it's a nice feeling. It's a wonderful feeling. So you could share your work with not just friends or family, but around the world, and people could actually get inspired by what you do, and it might even motivate them and push them to go towards their goals. I mean, that's what I can say.
Thank you, Prince. And in fact, the only other thing I was going to ask, which I know you've spoken to me about at length, and I know you're happy for me to share, is the fact that it gives you new ways of seeing. The fact a range of cultures around the world,
yeah.
new ways of seeing. Is that something you wanted to touch on?
Well, everybody has a different perspective about things. I was taught one way and always was stuck to that way. But when I spoke to Chris, he opened up my eyes, and actually, and it was just one session. It was just like a little thing. We just only had like a couple minutes talking, and then he said things that got me thinking, oh, maybe this isn't the only way to do things. I should like be more open-minded and actually have more of a variety of understanding. And I think that's a good thing. We shouldn't be like closed-minded. We should open up and explore different horizons. And actually doing this, what you're doing here for everybody, is, I think, an amazing thing. And a lot of people could benefit and learn from it, and actually build connections and friendships as well.
Thank you, Prince. I really appreciate you coming. And I know you have to hop back into the cutting room, but really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's
all right. Thank you for having me. And I mean, feel free, if, I don't know, maybe I'll put something in the, is there a chat? Something in the chat. Just so if anybody wants to talk, then they could reach out.
Thank you, Chris.
Really, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, thank you for having me, and it's been great. Hopefully I'll see you all soon. All right, bye.
Good luck with the edit.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we welcome any more questions. And actually, the question from Dafina about West Africa. At the moment, we have connections in South Africa. I know that's entirely different region, country, but where there is a preference, we want to try to make that match. So in our very simple application form, which sounds scary, but it's not, and it just comes to Rebecca and me, any preference that you have, just say, and we'll do our best.
Yes, that's really what I was going to say, and similarly with Sayadana's question about more local mentoring. We are largely focused on cross-border. That is our sort of our USP and our difference, but that doesn't mean, again, if you apply, if there's something that you would like us to look at, we will look, we will do our best, and we will see what we can do about it. And we'll be honest if we can't, but also we'll try if we can. And that's the sort of the joy and the simplicity of being a small organization, is we don't need to refer to, you know, funders or overarching bodies. We can work out what we can do, and we can be honest if we can't, because if we can't, it's because we can't, not because we don't want to or trying to exclude anyone.
Yeah, and I think as Rebecca says, we're finding that what's piquing interest is that idea of cross-border, but where people have local barriers, for example, if they have families, or if they're a disabled person, or they have difficulties commuting, or they don't wish to commute because they wish to try to be greener in their outlook. Those are all things that we try to take into consideration, but the thrill and joy of what we're finding, people are finding, is thinking about perhaps the country that they would also like to work in, remotely or virtual production, or travel to, or settle in, or have some time in. That is just such a real joy. And it does enrich one's own local production as well, even if you wish to continue to work locally only. It really is really inspiring to hear other ways of working and other points of view that you can bring to your own productions. Who's going to apply? Oh, good. Yay. Yeah, no, we're really excited about it. We are tiny. We're a 2-person band, and we just want to try to bring people together in what is a pretty disconnected world, but we are an international industry, so it's crazy not to bring people together in an international way.
I love it, Raquel. Already completed her application form.
Oh, fantastic.
And yes, Jocelyn, you can start as a mentee, explore how that goes, and then think about mentoring. We are encouraging that really because it's all part of our respective professional development, both to be a mentee and to mentor somebody. And part of that is developing your own confidence to realize that you have got things to impart to other people as well as to learn. And that's actually the lovely thing about this industry.
I can see Vivia has a question, and also there's a question in chat as well. So the question in chat is, coming out of a long career in broadcast news as a cameraman, looking to do narrative film from scripts. Well, what I would say is we're not, our focus is not writers and directors. However, what we're finding is writers and directors are like coming to our events, like coming to our talks, like staying for the networking, because one, you might find other connections for teams, for your production teams and other peers to bounce ideas off. But we're not focusing on writers and directors in terms of our mentee-mentor matches, but there is a place in our community to make connections. And as Rebecca says, we can offer some connections through other links and other networks to help support you. I hope that answers your question. And Vivia, you had a question as well, didn't you?
Yes, thank you all so much for this. Someone just shared it with me a little over an hour ago. So I just jumped on, not really knowing a whole lot. And I'm trying to grasp everything that you all have shared. And that last question was very helpful. I want to make sure this really feels like it might be an answered prayer, because I had been wanting to be more involved internationally with the creation of entertainment. And so I'm thinking this may be like a really great fit. I'm super excited to apply. I want to make sure I understand the areas that you all will be focused on, like Prince was in the editing side. So are most of the opportunities evolved around post or during production or pre-production? And are there any particular roles that you would say are a better fit? Like if someone has an interest in this area, this would be a better fit, that type of thing. And just to give you a little, like my background is in voiceover and acting, and I've done production and directing and some writing as well. So I kind of run the gamut, as many people do as a multi-hyphenate, but I just want to make sure I'm clear about the area that this would be the best focus for me.
Rebecca, would you like me to take that?
No, you take that.
Perfect. Thank you for your question. So, right, here's what I think. I'm going to take a step back in answering your question. Is our support, one of our, along with Brunel University, I mentioned that one of our supporters is Screen Skills, which is Screen Skills / BFI funded. That's British Film Institute. And the CEO of Screen Skills, Sita Kumar, was speaking with our mentoring group. And she was saying, look, it is an international business now. We need to think international. We need to connect people internationally. And interestingly, when Rebecca and I reached out to Screen Skills to ask them to support our mentoring scheme with their skills and their training expertise, they said, it's really interesting. It's the first time someone's come to us with an international mentoring scheme. but it's such a good and positive thing to do because we are an international industry. So I suppose the broader answer is we would welcome your application, because it's the sort of application that we would love to discuss with our partners, because we're a dynamic organization and we're here to serve the needs of those people who join our community. So if we can't directly link you on this program, we would do everything we can to link you with another program that can support you, and also help you with your international connections that support your career growth, because it's just such a rich and interesting area that people have many strings to their bows. Sometimes people are not single discipline. They're not solely an editor, for example, or solely a writer, or solely a producer. So we would try to work out a way of supporting you directly or indirectly, I think, is my extremely long answer to your short and concise question.
No, that's perfect. And just to make sure I understood with the deadline, when would it have to be completed by? Because I know I saw on the website it said May 2022, but that may have been the previous program.
Yeah, that's a previous one that the website needs some TLC, needs some attention and updating. We haven't yet actually fixed the date, but it will be sometime in September. So you've got the summer. You've definitely got the summer. We haven't exactly worked out the dates, but yes, I need to take that off at least. The same, yes, it is currently the same application form. The application form, if you use that will go into the autumn pool. I need to do some tidying up on the website, but don't worry about if you apply now, that's absolutely fine.
Thank you, ladies, so very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And then the next program will start in October. Yeah,
I got that part for sure. Bye-bye.
I see question about whether we helped Prince get his job with HBO and any success stories. We didn't. We are, as Elizabeth said, we only really launched in April. So we haven't yet got our success stories. So far are the first meetings of our mentors and mentees, and we're looking forward to some great future stories. So far it is some actually fantastic matches, some very exciting conversations going on, and the early seeds of some future collaborations. But I don't think we can yet take credit for any amazing jobs yet, but we hope to, watch this space.
But that is the case. There is another additional point to make with that. I'm a very chatty person. There's always something else I can add. Is we will be sharing success stories and also looking at what does success mean, and that will be defined by the mentees, but where they have made new connections, where it has led to other jobs, where it has led to being in the mix for a new project, we will be sharing those stories as our programs unfold and end. And that's extremely important because we need to be able to measure success and demonstrate success to those applying, because it's important that we do have concrete benefits to being part of the scheme. So that's that. Also, we do try to have industry press around the mentees as well. So for example, Prince will be being part of an interview in an editor's magazine, the BFE magazine, this September, and sharing what he feels he's getting out of the scheme as well. I think our time is up, is that right?
Yeah. Unless there's you have about 3 more minutes if people have questions, but that's it. Thank you all so much. This is amazing. So much enthusiasm as well.
Yeah, I think, Rebecca, have we missed any questions? But
not that I'm aware of. I think we have caught up with everyone. Please shout if we have missed somebody, but I think I've picked everything up as it's gone through.
Hi, Rebecca, it's nice to meet you. I wanted to pop on and say hi.
Hi, it's lovely. Sorry, I keep muting myself because I have young people in the background heading off to watch the women's football.
I think though that that was all of the questions. This is really informative and exciting. And then also, Rebecca, I see you put, I'm just gonna put this in the chat one more time, the membership form.
Yes, please. That's the way. It's free to join, and then you will just get our updates, and you can find us on social media. How many? Oh, from Defina, how many mentors were producers this past round? 3 or 4, Elizabeth. It's one of those. I think it was 4.
Yes, that's right. And I'm really glad you've asked that question, because we are absolutely looking at that whole seam of production assistant, production management, head of production, and producers. It's a really big seam for us, and we would like to develop that further. So please do apply. Oh, how many mentees are assigned to each mentor? It's 1-to-1.
Yeah,
so it's lovely both for the mentee and mentor, both gain different things from that relationship. I'm mentoring at the moment for a different organization, and I really love it. But yes, it's a 1-to-1 relationship plus other communal activities with the group.
And I had a wonderful story today from another friend who's mentoring with a different organisation, who took her mentee to an event and said it actually helped her network, because she had somebody to introduce. She was actually going up to those groups that she might have avoided going up to before, because she had a very positive need to introduce her mentee to other people. And then she had the chat. So she said it was an immediate benefit, because it gave her that reason to talk to people that we often need at networking events.
I was a mentor as part of Women in Film and Television for a profoundly deaf series producer who is now a very good friend, and it completely transformed the way I set up a new office that I was setting up for a new hub, because of working with her and seeing the world through her eyes. I
think that's it. Sorry, I immediately popped back off. I'm back again though. I think that's everything. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you for having us. It's been lovely just talking.
Now all I have to say is, are you ready for those applications to come rolling in? Because I'm telling you, you're going to get we have 75 plus RSVPs, so I know at least 60 are rolling in.
Wonderful.
We're really thrilled, and we want to do everything we can to bring people together. So thank you for this opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Thank you both. Well, Kellyanne, we will close this event. Elizabeth and Rebecca, any other additional information about how people can follow the mentorship happenings of ScreenCraft Works, etc., before you pop off?
Our website, screencraftworks.org. It's not brilliant. I totally get that the website needs some work. That's one of my summer projects. ScreenCraft W on Twitter, ScreenCraft Works on Instagram. Those will each lead you around to the different spaces, but info at screencraftworks.org. If you've got a question, you can't find what you need, we'll point you in the right direction.
Great.
And anything you write on your application forms, and any discussions you have with your mentee and mentor, unless you give us permission, that is confidential information that we just use to best match you. And if you prefer not to share any particular information in writing, but then you want to speak to us in confidence about something that is important to you, that's absolutely fine, and we respect that as well.
Thank you.
We also have quite a laugh, by the way. We're sounding quite serious.
There it is. And we're going to close in laughter.
Perfect.
Thank you both. Kellyanne, I will let you take it away.
Again, I want to thank you so much for to our attendees, to our participants who have signed on today. I also want to thank Elizabeth, Rebecca. I'd like to also thank Prince and Shaunak for their time today. It really was an informative conversation, and this sounds like an incredible opportunity. I wanted to also let you know, if you missed the link, don't worry, you'll get the information in a follow-up email. We have quite a few events coming up in August. Our calendar is packed. So make sure that you're following us on Instagram, subscribe to our newsletter, and follow us on Eventbrite as well, so you don't miss out on anything we have up and coming. The Black TV and Film Collective is powered by filmmakers from the board all the way down to the staff. And our goal is to empower you, educate you, and to provide opportunities and support for you as you make your work. We hope you guys have a great day and a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
You're
Bye,
very welcome. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Kellyanne. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye from London.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Again, I want to thank you so much for to our attendees, to our participants who have signed on today. I also want to thank Elizabeth, Rebecca. I'd like to also thank Prince and Shaunak for their time today. It really was an informative conversation, and this sounds like an incredible opportunity. I wanted to also let you know, if you missed the link, don't worry, you'll get the information in a follow-up email. We have quite a few events coming up in August. Our calendar is packed. So make sure that you're following us on Instagram, subscribe to our newsletter, and follow us on Eventbrite as well, so you don't miss out on anything we have up and coming. The Black TV and Film Collective is powered by filmmakers from the board all the way down to the staff. And our goal is to empower you, educate you, and to provide opportunities and support for you as you make your work. We hope you guys have a great day and a wonderful weekend.